Did you know your liver plays this huge, significant role in weight loss? When your liver is overloaded with toxins and unhealthy foods, it can't do its job properly. It does a lot of things for us, but I want you to imagine that it can't multitask. So when it is overloaded, it's going to lead to a slower metabolism. You're going to have stubborn belly fat, and you're going to have cravings that you can't control. The liver is so important. So today, I'm going to reveal the 7 worst foods for your liver that could be stopping you from losing weight. Plus, I'm going to share with you what you should eat instead so that you can heal your liver and drop fat efficiently. I'm Dr. Ashley. I'm a PhD nutritionist and a registered dietitian. I'm the owner and founder of PhD Weight Loss, where we have helped over 10,500 people drop collectively more than 466,000 pounds nationwide. My goal with this channel is to give you the science-backed information you need to drop the weight and keep it off for good. Your liver is your metabolic powerhouse. It filters toxins, it burns fat, it recycles waste for you, it regulates blood sugar, it does so many things. But certain foods overload your liver with toxins, it spikes insulin, and we know that insulin is a fat storage hormone, and it turns you into this fat storing machine. I see this with PhD weight loss clients all the time. A lot of our clients come in, they've got fatty liver, and you know the positive thing though about this is you can reverse fatty liver in a number of weeks just by changing what you eat. Number 1 is refined sugar and high fructose corn syrup. Fructose in excess is toxic because it's metabolized differently than other forms of sugar. Glucose, for example, which we still don't want to eat a lot of, but glucose, every cell in your body can use for energy. Fructose instead is metabolized 100% by the liver. And what happens here is the liver turns it directly into fat and ejects it from the liver as triglycerides. When you have fatty liver, when you've got a lot of this visceral fat, this belly fat, you're going to have high triglyceride levels, which is a huge indication of poor overall health, of metabolic disease, of high risk of heart disease, stroke. So the fructose is a big issue. This leads to fatty liver, insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome. High fructose corn syrup specifically is the worst offender because it hijacks your metabolism. It increases uric acid. I have an entire video where I talk about gout and how gout has to do with fructose malabsorption. So definitely check this video out. The link is in the description. It's a really important one and it will open your eyes to the truth because gout is not caused from a high purine diet. It's caused from fructose malabsorption. If you have fatty liver, if you're consuming a lot of these specific foods, you're going to store fat in the liver and around the belly like crazy. So the solution here is to ditch all the processed sugar. No sodas, no fruit juices, no carb heavy junk. You're gonna eat real whole foods like high quality meats, eggs, your lower carb veggies. I have a video called Eat This for 30 Days and Drop Weight. You definitely wanna check out that video as well. Just click the link in the description because I'll guide you through what to eat and it pertains to this. Monk fruit, allulose, and stevia really are the only acceptable sweeteners. And even with that, I want you to use that sparingly. Second worst offender is processed vegetables and seed oils. I'm talking about soybean oil, canola oil, corn, sunflower, safflower. All of these oils are highly inflammatory. They're oxidized. They're basically rancid in the bottle. They have a high smoke point, which means that you can cook with them at a high temperature, supposedly. However, they're already rancid and oxidized in the bottle. So you're just getting these highly inflammatory oils that cause a lot of oxidative stress in the body. They lead to insulin resistance and liver inflammation. If you think about it, your ancestors never consumed these types of oils. They're chemically extracted from industrial waste. They are not something that should be going into the body. So instead, you just want to use animal-based and stable fats. I actually have a dietary fat for cooking guide. If you want to download this guide for free and just put it up on your fridge is what I suggest. This is a resource for you. Just look in the description and there will be a link so that you can get that free guide and know exactly what fats to cook with and what fats to consume, like more for cold use. For example, olive oil is great for your body, but it's not great to cook with at high temperatures because it goes rancid, it oxidizes, it doesn't have a high smoke point. So my favorite oil for cold use cooking is a first cold pressed extra virgin olive oil. For For higher heat cooking, I would suggest the beef tallow. Actually, Steak and Shake, I've recently read, has switched to tallow to cook their food in. So that's a win. Not that the food's gonna be great there, but at least you know it's being cooked in that rather a soybean oil that is just total junk. If you guys went into a fast food restaurant and saw the oil in there and how long they use that oil for, terrible. Causes so much inflammation. So beef tallow, I actually like cooking with avocado oil. It doesn't taste like anything. It has a high smoke point. That's my favorite. You could use coconut oil. You could cook bacon and save the grease and then roast your veggies in that if you like that, or a grass-fed butter. Those are my favorite fat sources. You know, I know all of this seems totally overwhelming. It's a lot of information. If you feel like getting a customized guide and meal plan, customized support to bring you to actually achieving success in your weight loss journey, then you should check out PhD Weight Loss. Just click the link in the description to learn more. So the third thing to avoid is, you probably guessed it, alcohol. Unfortunately, alcohol is not great for the body. It truly is a toxin. The body doesn't like it. It wants to get rid of it. And the liver is the first organ that truly processes and gets the alcohol out of the system. So again, I want you to think that the liver can't multitask. I mean, it's doing a lot of things, so it's not true, but just take this analogy with me. Use this analogy. You take in the alcohol, the body doesn't love it, needs to get rid of it. The liver is going to work to process it. Now, the liver, as you know, is in charge of burning fat for fuel. So when you take in, for example, one shot for most people will blunt fat burn, will stop fat burn for about 3 to 4 hours because the liver is preoccupied with burning off the alcohol. Take in 2, 3 more drinks, you're going to blunt fat burn exponentially. Like a heavy night of drinking can knock you out of fat burn for multiple days. It just has to prioritize the alcohol. Now, if you eat in conjunction with the alcohol, especially if what you eat is carb heavy, those carbs are going to be stored as belly fat so quickly. We also know that alcohol destroys gut health. It lowers testosterone. It increases estrogen. It makes fat loss even harder. And you know, moderate drinkers still get fatty liver and hormonal imbalances from it. You don't have to be a heavy drinker for alcohol to cause damage. If you're on a weight loss journey and you want the process to go as fast as possible, you'll want to let alcohol go. Now, you can still drink and drop weight. People ask me, you know, what are the lower calorie drinks, alcoholic drinks I can consume when I'm losing weight and not blunt my progress? Well, I don't care about calories. I don't care about the calories consumed from the alcohol. I care about the metabolic impact. And the metabolic impact is that it's going to slow your fat loss because the liver is preoccupied and can't burn the fat first. It's that simple. Now, if you say, okay, Dr. Ashley, I'm not willing to give up my alcohol, what should I drink? Then the better choices are going to be a red wine, a dry red wine. It honestly doesn't matter between red wine or white wine as long as it's not sweet. And then number 2 would be some kind of hard liquor, like a vodka or tequila, or the cleaner types of hard liquor. And you would mix that with like a 0-calorie mixer or a club soda, something like that, maybe a Zevia sweetened with stevia. I want you to know that tonic water has just as much sugar and carbs as a Coke. So a lot of people think because tonic water is not super sweet, it doesn't have sugar, but it does. In general, no beer and no sugary cocktails. Number 4 is processed and fast foods. Why fast food specifically is so bad is because it's loaded with preservatives and chemicals and these seed oils we talked about. It's not real food. It spikes insulin, it overloads your metabolism, it leads to fatty liver. I want you to think that the body doesn't know how to metabolize this food. It's like plastic to the body. And it's like, I don't know what to do with this. I'm just going to store it as excess fat. It's just storage. I don't know how to metabolize this. It also contains addictive ingredients that hijack your hunger signals. They make these foods specifically at what they call a bliss point, where it's the perfect salty, sweet, crunchy, gooey, whatever that might be, so that the human brain goes on overdrive and just can't stop consuming it. So in general, do your best to eat single ingredient whole foods. If you're looking at an ingredient label, a good goal is that it has 5 or less items listed. Now, I've done an entire video on how to read food label and an ingredient list. Just check the link in the description if you want to dive into it. It's super helpful. And then cook your own meals. I know this is hard. I'm a busy person as well. I take my body and my health as a priority. and I'm gonna meal prep and do the best that I can. And when I'm in a bind, I still meal prep. I just don't go and consume fast food because it's not a part of my identity. I think that's the important thing, is when you're busy and eating fast food and these junk foods are not part of your identity, you still make the healthier option happen. Number 5 is don't consume refined grains and excess carbs, like your breads, your pastas, cereal. You guys, cereal is the very worst breakfast you could consume. Oatmeal too. I know I'll probably get a lot of comments saying oatmeal is a great food. It's not. If you eat oatmeal on its own and you put brown sugar on top of it and some raisins, one of the worst breakfasts you can consume. It's all just sugar. Your body doesn't need a ton of carbs. I'm not saying that you need to follow a ketogenic, extremely low carb diet, but the majority of us are consuming way too many carbs, above our carb tolerance level. Refined carbs specifically, like cornflakes with a banana and skim milk, worst breakfast you could consume for good health. It's gonna spike your insulin levels. It's gonna lead to fat storage in the liver. Also, for a lot of people, they're sensitive to gluten, and gluten is high in these foods. I'm not saying for everyone, like my husband, he can tolerate gluten just fine, but I can't. So it's being aware, and like no one gets anything good from gluten. It doesn't do the body good in any way. So really, we're best to limit it. There's lots of pesticides. Glyphosate is located in or found in a lot of these grains and gluten containing grains. So we will be better off by completely eliminating it or reducing it as much as possible. So eliminate those foods, eat your whole unprocessed foods, like I've talked about, high quality animal protein, eggs, more animal-based nutrition with those fresh veggies, those berries, those starches, if you need them, coming from sweet potatoes instead of from these refined grains and excess carbs. Number 6 is deli meats and processed red meats. Like if they're not clean, if they're highly processed, the meat itself isn't bad. It's the processing. Conventional deli meats contain a lot of preservative, nitrates, fillers. They can inflame the liver, especially with someone sensitive. A lot of them are pumped with sugar and artificial ingredients. So again, going to your clean whole meats, this is what I do is I'll get a whole chicken and roast it and then slice it thinly if I want, or give the kids sliced chicken like that. Or I'll go to the store and get a beef eye round roast and cook it and pull it out when it's medium rare. And if you thinly slice that, you can use that in place of deli meats. If you're buying bacon or sausage, you could choose uncured, nitrate-free. It's gonna be a better option. And the last food that you wanna avoid are these quote unquote healthy smoothies and juices. They're really just hidden sugar bombs. A glass of orange juice has the same amount of sugar as a can of soda. These smoothies that you get, even if it's at a good smoothie place and they add dates, they add oats in there, it's a fruit juice base, and then a whole banana. You guys, this is just a sugar bomb. It doesn't matter if it's natural. The body doesn't care if the sugar comes from a banana or a gummy bear. The banana is, of course, a better option because it has more vitamins and minerals in it, but the sugar, metabolically speaking, is still gonna go down to the liver. So minimizing that amount is gonna be helpful. Also, liquid calories bypass hunger hormones. They do not trigger the body to secrete GLP-1. We all know what GLP-1 now is because of all these drugs being so popular. GLP-1 is triggered after we eat real food like animal protein or a protein and a fiber combo. So if we just drink this smoothie, it's not really triggering that sensation. Therefore, after we consume the smoothie, we are not going to be as full as if we ate, say, some eggs and sausage and some veggies for breakfast. We're going to get hungrier sooner. Also, this fructose coming from all the fruit can overload the liver, just like drinking a high fructose corn syrup beverage. So I just want you to be aware that all sugar is sugar. There's some that's a little bit better because it has a backpack on it of vitamins and minerals, but still you need to be aware of that. So if you're gonna consume fruit, eat the whole fruit, not juice. Your body needs the fiber to slow absorption and to tell the brain you've been fed. And then stick to water or coffee with some heavy cream or half and half in it, or an unsweetened drink like an unsweetened iced tea or something like that. In general, how you can heal your liver and accelerate fat loss is to eat more nose to tail. So your high quality animal protein, your organ meats are really great. More animal-based foods naturally detox the liver. They've got vitamin A in there, which can help with the liver as well, and the iron absorption. It just helps to restore metabolic health. You want to hydrate and make sure that you're consuming good amounts of good sea salt and electrolytes. This is why I love and made an electrolyte powder specifically for individuals like you to help along your weight loss journey. You know, water is fine, sticking lemon in there is too. However, when you are dropping weight, there is a huge benefit to consuming electrolytes. You want to ditch the processed foods. If it has a label with long ingredients, you're going to be suspicious of it. And then you're gonna prioritize your healthy fats, your protein, like eggs, wild-caught fish, if you can swing it grass-fed beef for optimal liver function. In general, you guys, the liver was not designed to handle processed garbage and seed oils and a ton of sugar. If you wanna burn fat, if you want to reverse insulin resistance and feel amazing, you've got to stop poisoning your body with all of this modern junk food. If you want to take your fat loss to the next level, it's not just about what foods to avoid, it's about eating the right foods at the right time. So check out my video, The Complete Guide to Eating and Weight Loss Around Your Menstrual Cycle. The link is in the description. And here you will learn how your hormones impact fat loss and how to work with your body rather than against it. So just click the link and I'll see you in the next video.